Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Napoleon Total back with some Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai, and we're back with some Avatar battles. Yes, today we have a 3v3, and this battle came down to the bitter wire. I remember myself literally cheering because, well, it was so close. But anyway, I'm just gonna put this on slow motion, and we're gonna be going over the army compositions. I'm gonna go on the blue team, which is my team, and the red team, which is the enemy team. First up off the bat, we're actually gonna pause this. We actually have the Palamers. He is bringing some red bear infantry, some red bear infantry, some more black bear infantry, some more red bears. And in this forest line, he has some infantry de marine with some Yariki. Mix them with some Yarikachi, which is not a bad choice, by the way. And he does have some Shogunate with some toasted riflemen. And yes, and his general, of course. We cannot forget the general, guys. His general is right here. Yep. And for my army, I'm bringing a lot of cavalry. I'm bringing a lot of Imperial Guard cavalry mixed up with some Yariki and some Saber cavalry with some, yeah, it's a lot of cavalry. And I'll tell you why I brought that setup later. But I also have one piece of Armstrong guns, one toaster rifleman for my infantry, one general, which is right here. Yep, my general is right here. And I have one unit of Yugi Gatai with another unit of Yugi Gatai hiding in the tree line. So yes, that's that. We're gonna go on to Fury, and he's gonna be bringing some Yariki, and he is a traditional army, by the way. So we have two follow the samurai armies, and one traditional army. So we have some Yariki in the front lines, Naginata warrior monks, pretty all scary force. The Avatar General's bodyguard, which is way better looking than my own general, I have to admit, especially in that armor. And yes, for those who don't know what these bags are for, these bags are supposed to deflect arrows, and it has actually been proved and tested. And yes, the idea is that the wind goes in here, and then if an arrow attacks launches at here, it'll just bounce off because the wind is supporting against the arrow. We also have some light cavalry in the mix with some Gari cavalry, with some light cavalry, with some Naginata warrior monks cavalry, and some Nodachi samurai mixed in with some Naginata attendants, and some more Nodachi samurai mixed in with some Naginata attendants. Finally, we also have more Nodachi samurai with Nodachi samurai and some Naginata attendants. So most of his stuff, like mine, is focused on the cavalry, which is actually not a bad idea. And I'll tell you why in a second. Our opponent, one of them is Okita, and he's going to be bringing Boki, carbine cavalry, and red bear infantry with some more Yariki, and a lot more red bears, Yarikis, red bears, with some Tosa riflemen, and a lot of these Koyoto police and Katanakachi. So pretty mixed force, and he is a Fall of the Samurai army. Yeah, he's right here. Pretty good looking, I have to admit. To the right, we have Santillion, and he's bringing some Lone Sword Ashigaru. These guys are actually pretty good looking. Some more Lone Sword Ashigaru, with some more Lone Sword Ashigaru. Behind him, he has some Bow Cavalry, 3 units of them. And on this side, he has more Bow Ashigaru, some Bow Ashigaru, some Katana Samurai, with some Naginata warrior monks and Naginata warrior monks and Lone Sword Ashigaru, mixed them with some Katana samurai and his general. Once again, a pretty good looking general. And on his flank, we do have some Yuri cavalry mixed up with katanas, lights, and katana cavalry. Finally, we have probably the most terrifying player, and that's going to be Trevor. He's going to be bringing some Otomo Matchlock Ashigaru, mix them with Yari Ashigaru, mix them with some Bow Ashigaru, so his entire front line is going to be these matchlocks. Some are samurai, I think. Yeah, right here, this unit is a samurai matchlock. Behind them, he has Yari Ashigaru, which is to hold the line. And behind him, he has this terrifying bow force, which is 175 range for just normal Ashigaru units. And it just goes, and that is going to skyrocket when he brings in Daiku Samurai, but fortunately we don't have that much Daiku's. Actually, no, we do. We don't have that much Daiku Samurai on the battlefield. But these Daiku Samurai have 200 range, so yeah, that's pretty scary. Behind that, we have Yari Ashigaru, and yes, that's his entire army. We're gonna press play, and first thing I'm gonna do is, because I have this Armstrong gun, I'm just gonna move it up here, and we're gonna, yeah, start opening fire. Mostly I'm gonna start opening fire on Trevor because he's scary, and I'm also bringing a lot of cavalry. I'm not doing anything with my cavalry as of right now because if I charge my cavalry right now, that's called suicide, and I don't really want to commit suicide. We have some Yugi Gitai, and they're almost barely in range, but I'm not interested. This Yugi Gitai has just blasted away some Boki, and yeah, not a good sign for the Boki. I'm telling my guys to support this side, and my allies are, so yes, that's great. On this side, the Palomers is starting to get a foothold here, and I'm trying to tell him to watch out of this entire bow army, which because he doesn't have that many units, and what units he does have, I don't have the range. Whether it's Matchlock Ashigaru or literally Bow Ashigaru, it's pretty dang scary. Right here, I'm starting to reinforce this sector with another Tosa Rifleman, and at this point, most of my guys are hidden, although there were some instances of these guys were not hidden for like a second or two. But this entire cavalry force is pretty dang scary. I'm just not committing it. Fury, which also has a lot of cavalry, is going to be fighting off some enemy cavalry. He is sending some Yari Samurai to scare off the Bow Samurai with some help from the light cavalry and a lot of cavalry, Yari cavalry, and some Naginata warrior monks. So pretty scary indeed. At this point, we're just playing cat and mouse, and finally, as the first volleys begin to open fire, Terry is essentially blasting these guys out of existence. Blasting and shooting these guys. Remember, he has 150 range and 125 range for his matchlocks. So basically what he can 100% do is literally have these, with the situation here, is basically he's moving his matchlocks up, these guys open fire, while also these bows also open fire. Not to mention he has multiple ranks of bows, and he has support from the bow key. So this entire, yeah, these guys are already routing. I have to slow this down now. Actually no, I'm gonna pause it. I'm telling my ally to like pull back or do something. And he's actually, and I realized that there's a massive gap right here. So I'm literally just gonna charge my entire cavalry force. My entire cavalry force here. I'm asking Fury to support me. On the other side, things are looking pretty well for us. So that is why I'm just gonna send this entire cavalry force here. I'm telling Palomers to watch out because Terry is not a joke, and I'm also telling Palomers to send more troops down here. I'm gonna be sending in my first squadron of Yariki and Saber cavalry with some Saber Yariki. I'm gonna hold this this cavalry force in reserve. Because, well, this cavalry force is used as essentially a reserve unit. I'm gonna come across and then charge the flank of these guys, and for some reason these Matchlock Ashigaru and Yarikashi start to break, which is wonderful. Obviously, I do have a problem in the sense that I actually do charge one unit into these Yari Ashigaru, and the reason why I wanted to do that is because these guys will be crushing my flank. Also, the other bad thing is that my Yariki, just one of them just gets routed, and the rest are just going after the reinforcement enemy troops that are reinforcing, because the enemy at this point realized that, holy cow, this entire sector is not plugged in, so they're plugging stuff in. But besides the loss of one Bow Ashigaru and one Yari Ashigaru and one Matchlock unit, is not worth it. I like how the Fury is sending in his general against some Yari Ashigaru, and I wasn't aware of that. Elsewhere, my entire cavalry force is going on this side because this side is once again very, very weak. These guys, my ally has essentially blasted the heck out of this entire front line, which is great. Yeah, that's fortunate for us. I do have some Yari cavalry that has returned from essentially getting slaughtered. Not so many kills on this guy, but a lot of kills on 73 kills. Most of them are expensive units. I'm actually going to move my cavalry up, and we're just going to open fire a volley, particularly on this unit, and we're just going to run the heck out of there. I do have my first unit of revolver cavalry, and I hope these guys open fire, but for some reason they just keep marching. Same thing for the rest of my cavalry for some reason, so I'm just going to pull these guys back. We do get some friendly fire from my ally, which is unfortunate, but what's done has been done. Stantilian is going to send in his Yari cavalry, and at this point this entire battlefield is a brawl. My guys have not been committed yet, but on this side, we are opening fire on this mass. On this side, I moved down my guys. And Fury is just getting destroyed on that side because he has a lot. Our opponent has a lot of troops here, and then they're also supported by some swordmen. To make the situation better for us, on this side, Naganaki warrior monks have been committed, and on this side, we are just blasting this cavalry. Where I'm just gonna eventually just essentially charge into these spears. These Imperial Guard cavalry are not the best in terms of literally cavalry. But they will do against especially light unarmored bow units. The enemy general is going to come in, and I'm trying my best to have these guys charge this general and get this general off the battlefield, or shoot him to death. But as you can see, on this entire flank, my guys have withdrawn. But that said, this entire flank is getting routed. At this point, I wasn't paying attention to this side because on the other side, I'm trying to have these guys charge the flank of this. The guys that literally charged into my Yugi-Kitai. So I hopefully get these guys to charge straight in. I do sit here for a few seconds because I'm also micromanaging on two fronts. Right here and right there. The enemy, I see eventually two enemy generals. One is Terry's general and the other one is Santilli's general, who is starting to rout. My cavalry force is pretty much done for. But finally, on the other side, my guys do just straight outright charge into the flank, and we eventually break these two units of Katana Samurai and Naginata Warrior Monks. On the other side, I'm trying to get my guys to open fire on the carbine cavalry, but that doesn't work very well. On this side, the Boki of Okita are just getting destroyed by Yariki and light cavalry, no surprise right there. But the most important thing that is pretty dang scary is that this entire center force is pretty much losing men fast. However, my ally is plugging in the gaps with the general. Fury's general is pretty dang interesting. Our guys are opening fire on this massive blob of infantry, but so too is the enemy. Yeah. We're trying to get this Thunderbuss cavalry off the battlefield, which is pretty scary. Once again, Thunderbuss cavalry is very scary. All across the field, our guys are starting to run and waver, but this Katana Samurai, we're going to try our best to get rid. My cavalry is not going to be doing the job. As a matter of fact, one of them starts breaking and routing. I'm actually having my general to inspire the troops. On this side, things have literally calmed down, but still, there is still some cavalry skirmishes against carbine cavalry against light cavalry. Although this cavalry force is pretty much done for. We eventually do destroy this Katana Samurai by literally shooting it with mass volleys, and yeah. But on the other side, things have looked pretty, not that great for us. This side is pretty much done for, and at this point, I'm telling our ally to come back, come to this tree line, use your Tusa riflemen if he has, which he does, and I'll be deploying my Yugi-Kitai in this tree line, and we're just gonna annihilate anyone who comes. But my ally was still like holding this sector. Which, to be honest, it doesn't look that bad. Like, most of the enemy units are Yari Ashigaru, and with some Mashlocks and some Yumis. He does have some, the opponents are Okita, did send him some Toaster Riflemen. And I just have to say, the well coordination of our enemies, my bad, is pretty top notch. Yes. I think my artillery piece is still firing. Yeah, it's firing. I'm just trying to fire at any massive blob that I see. Yes. So yes, at this point the battle is starting to lull, and at this point our lines are looking very... my artillery piece has just fired off all its ammunition. At this point the battle is starting to look very bad for us. I'm trying to tell this guy my ally to retreat the heck out of there. He is going to be losing a carbine cavalry, which is unfortunate because every man matters. Hopefully we do get some kills on that bow cavalry, which I hope we do. I think we are, actually. Are we? No, we're not. Actually, no, we are going to get some kills on fire cavalry. Not that bad. I am trying once again. I'm trying to tell this guy to use this tree line, but for some reason, this player, my ally, wouldn't. Yep. Well, this carbine cavalry is done for. Yeah, it's routed, and it's gonna go into this. Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah, my ally still hasn't moved here. Fury has the real cavalry and bow warrior monks. Now, it's still quite fresh with some light cavalry that is 100. That is still fresh. He does have his general, and his general is eventually going to play a massive part. But that's it in this tree line. He is getting destroyed by the enemy Tosa riflemen and some matchlocks. The enemy general, our ally's general is getting destroyed. Yes, and there's not. I've been telling this guy to get the heck away from here. So yes, that's not working, apparently. My Tosa riflemen, my Yugi Gatai are now moving slowly to this forest. They are hidden at this point, but I really want them to move over to that forest line. And at this point, we don't know what our opponent has in this tree line, so we're not attacking. The main assault is going to come either from here or here, from what we know. Once again, the Paladinus is not giving a lot of, is barely. I would have retreated that entire cavalry force. Fury does have some Nagana Wormon cavalry and some cavalry, but he's gonna just retreat them. I've been telling this guy to hold this tree line, but I don't know what he's doing, but he's not gonna be holding the tree line. He wants me to hold this tree line, which is what I'm doing right here. I do have some Tosa riflemen that is gonna go back and hide in this tree line. Communication was kind of poor in this battle. For me and my allies. We were literally screaming at each other. I was telling him to get away from this entire side and put all his guys in this tree line, but he also screamed at me to put my guys in this forest line. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna send in my Yariki to scout and see what the heck is happening in this forest line. My cavalry is pretty much destroyed. It has only gotten 108 kills, which is actually pretty good, to be honest. I'm gonna also send my general to the other side, and I'm just gonna see what the heck happens. Honestly, we do have some Yari Samurai to help, but yes. The enemy does have one unit of Yariki and some Kanana Samurai, but at this point we realize this entire flank is full of nothing. So the main attack is gonna be coming from here or here. So that is pretty scary. So that is why I'm starting to shift units here, but the enemy is also starting massing up on this side, so I'm gonna eventually move these guys back. I'm gonna send my general to open fire on this Yarki, but for some reason they just get too close to the Red Bear infantry, so I have to literally retreat them. And as a matter of fact, I'm just gonna try to get another volley, and then after I retreat them. Yeah, my general is actually under attack. I'm actually asking him to send in his Yari cavalry against this Yariki. I'm gonna pop rally just because all these guys need rally. And yes. You might be wondering what the heck am I doing with my cavalry? I'm just gonna be charging it at the carbine cavalry. And his carbine cavalry is pretty much focused on the Yari Samurai, so we're actually gonna get a charge. But however, the enemy is gonna countercharge with some Boki, which is fine, 100% fine. Yeah, we just ended up charging into this Katana Samurai, which is not what I really wanted. And yeah, it doesn't look pretty for us. The enemy just has a lot more cavalry, a lot more stuff on this side. And to make it worse, his cavalry is just going to be tormenting us along the way. And at this point, this battle's starting to look very, very bad for us. In terms of numbers, they have the advantage. In terms of quality, they still have the advantage. And in terms of cavalry, they officially have the advantage in terms of skirmisher cavalry. We have the advantage in terms of, well, good cavalry. we still have in cavalry, we have light cavalry and Nagana warrior monks in reserve. And yes, I'm gonna send back my general because he's getting peppered by arrows. And however, the second these guys fire, they routed. And the more scary force is this carbine cavalry, which is was going after my general. But yes, that said, My ally at this point decided to tell me to move my guys onto this forest line, which is what technically should have did, but yeah. Yes, that's that. I eventually moved some units there. Actually, no, I'm moving them right now, and into this forest line, and we're gonna be gunning down everyone down. The two generals right here. One of them is going to be playing an important role in the battle to come, and the other is going to die very quickly. You'll see what I'm talking about a few seconds later. But yes, the opponents are just starting to mass up, and we're just organizing our forces. And I'm just going to fast forward. We're actually going to be shifting troops on this side. Oh, sorry. We're going to be shifting troops on this side because literally... Yeah, literally this entire side is going to be the most interesting side. Our general is getting kited away. I was about to send my general to shoot this carbine cavalry, but that didn't go too well. And to make the situation worse, Fury threw in his light cavalry against the carbine cavalry, and that isn't looking well because he does have toasted riflemen in this forest line, which is just going to open fire. But thankfully, he's going to retreat with his Naginata warrior monks, which is great. But however, we came off once again terribly bad with that engagement. We do. Oh yeah, he does have Thunderburst cavalry, which is pretty scary. We're going to charge. We are going to countercharge. That's going to scare them off, and hopefully this guy retreats. Fury retreats. But that means he's gonna return back, and we're gonna feign a charge. This battle is like feigning charges and feigning attacks, and Terry's like, nope, we're gonna sit here, and because he has the Red Bear infantry from his allies, Okita. He's moving up some carbine cavalry, and the general is just gonna withdraw, which is not a bad idea. I'm telling this guy to watch out. His general is way too close. There is toasted riflemen in this forest. The Palamers, I was telling him, watch out for your general, because he literally has toasted riflemen, and all he has to do is... Heck, he doesn't even need toasted riflemen. He literally has the bow Ashigaru with 175 range. His general only has 155 range, so I've been telling this guy to pull back, which he does. So yes, once again, it's a lull, and this side is pretty much empty. The enemy has decided to attack here, which is not a bad decision, because all they need to take is this armor dojo, and they're gonna win. The enemy finally decides to lead the frontal assault. Yes, that's that. We do have we have some Nodachi samurai to meet our enemy, and unfortunately for us, the enemy has Thunderburst cavalry. Fortunately for us, we are facing some Yara Ashigaru in the front lines, poof, and we do pop Banzai, and the Yara Ashigaru are starting to rout, so that's wonderful. And if the Thunderburst cavalry open fire, they will I'll be more than sure that they're gonna be getting friendly fire, which is technically what we want, and that is why Terry is going to be moving his troops back. This first Yara Ashigaru regiment unit is destroyed. The second Yara Ashigaru is winning decisively, which is terrible, and this Nodachi samurai starts to break. And at this point, it's starting to look pretty bad for us. The general starts to open fire on this massive blob, which is not a bad idea. I'm not risking my general because my general is dead. He's routed from the field after those humongous casualties. We are trying to get this Mashlak Ashigaru off the battlefield. He is going to get a volley off, and yeah, it's not looking good. And not to mention the archers. So yes. The enemy is going to be pushing on this flank, and we literally have no answer for that. I'm starting to move my infantry into this tree line again. And once here, we are just setting our men up for the battle. We do have some units here in the end tree line, and we really don't know what to do with this unit because, one, it's starting to waver, and we also need to keep a presence. But at this point, the enemy is starting to move everything here, so that is pretty scary. On this side, yeah. It's not looking so good. We do have this Infantry de Marine with 150 range, so that is going to be answering for their Mashlak Ashigaru, but not against the bows, which have 175 range. So we're going to be in a pickle here. The enemy general has 200. Avatar's general bodyguard has 200 range, so that's actually pretty good. But there's only one of them, and it is the general. He's up to 97 kills, and he is going to be firing again. He's actually going to be firing at some Boki, which is he's actually doing pretty a lot. in one volley he kills, what, from 97 to 105. The enemy's not going to attack yet on this side, but when they do attack, it's swarming. So yes, we have finally deployed most of our entire front lines here. I do have more troops hiding in the forest, Yugi Gitai hiding in the forest. And he is going to be moving some infantry, the marine, back. And yes, we are sending even more spear levies to this sector to hold the line. And finally, the enemy decides to attack, which is not a terrible idea. I'm going to be blasting the heck out of this Red Bear infantry, and I'm hopefully trying to blast the heck out of this Red Bear infantry. The reason why I'm doing that and not blasting the Tosa riflemen is because Red Bear infantry is a game of numbers and it's a game of stuff. We have a lot of infantry, but we also have a lot of melee units. So my figure out was that Tosa riflemen are very acceptable to cavalry charges, and that is why I'm blasting the Red Bear infantry. This Red Bear infantry is getting blasted, but now we're just going to keep blasting them until the enemy massives just swarm. I don't know whether this bow unit was out of ammunition, but once again, I'm not really afraid of a bow unit. I am literally more afraid of these Red Bear infantry. However, however, these guys do get spotted, and now that means I have to retreat them no matter what I do now, because the Red Bears and the Tosa riflemen from the enemy is just gonna blast. The enemy is starting to mass here. They have 150 range for the, well, we have 175 range. So I've been telling this guy to use this Tosa rifleman effectively. On this side, it's a full assault, and the enemy is charging straight at us. Thankfully, we have this infantry, the marine, or else we will be pretty much screwed. Infantry, the marine, obviously has 150 range, and we also have this cavalry force. We have this Yari samurai that yeah, is gonna face the enemy. My Tosa rifleman is gonna get the heck out of this tree line because this tree line has just fallen, and we do get some good kills. However, we pretty much destroyed this Katana Kachi. We pretty much destroyed these Kyoto police. Nothing spectacular, and that's a disaster. And these bow units surprisingly have arc arrows, so that's a sad sight. And finally, Polymers is going to be threatening the right flank, and I'm going to have my Yugi Gitai open fire. Yeah. I'm asking him to charge this way, which he does, but it's taking him too long, and he's getting shot. However, that is going to mean I'm going to get more shots on these Red Bear infantry, and because their flank is turned towards me, they're pretty much scared away. I do see this Thunderbolts cavalry, and I'm trying my best to destroy them. I'm at this point ignoring this Red Bear infantry because at this point we do need to take out some Tosa riflemen. But I thought this unit was gonna rout, so yeah, we are now definitely in range of each other. Yeah, we're gonna be blasting each other. My guys are gonna be put in skirmish mode. Well, yeah. Loose formation. The reason why I'm doing that is literally because the enemy has a lot of archers and they still haven't used up ammo. So that's unfortunate. We finally rout this Red Bear infantry, and the unfortunate thing is that there's this massive swarm of Katana Kachi coming towards us, and there's Tosa riflemen that's going to be fired on our flank. We do have some Red Bear infantry to hold a line in this sector. On this sector, we are charging some spear levy into Kyoto police, which is not a bad idea. My guys are going to be blasting the heck out of these Lone Sword Arshigaru, but we're also getting some friendly kills. However, we do hold the line. However, that is going to mean more Katana Kachi is going to be literally thrown in. Our guys are just going to be blasting away at this Red Bears and this Katana Kachi, and at this point it's starting to get close, really close. I've been telling this guy to watch out. There's literally Katana Samurai, and he's not, and this is infantry, the Marine with 150 range. Not to mention that this guy has just popped Gumbanat, and we are just actually able to fire even faster. For some reason, these guys are not firing anymore, which is unfortunate. They are firing here, but the main reason why I'm also scared is because the bow cavalry, although it's not great in melee, is more than enough to chop off this Yugi Gitai. On the other side, my guys are, with the support of my allies, is actually going to be open fire on this Red Bear infantry. We are going to be sending in some Wako Raiders to destroy this Red Bear infantry. And yep, my Yugi Gatai routes, no surprise right there. And at this point I have literally no cavalry. And the only unit I have left is this Tosa Rifleman. I thought this unit was more than enough to deal with this Red Bear infantry, and eventually it proves that I was right. But I thought the entire enemy cavalry force is going to be coming down straight down towards here, and will be pretty much done for. But we do have some Thunderous cavalry that still have ammunition, and I don't know where they're getting more friendly fire, or yeah, I'm pretty sure they're getting friendly fire. Yeah, although that is once again more than enough to destroy the enemy infantry. We do have a massive blob of Bo Ashigaru. At this point, I really don't know what to do with my infantry, because literally, do I move them here because they will be charged from the flank? Do I move them here? They'll be charged. They'll be shot by the bows, and at this point, we just don't have the numbers to deal with the battle. Thankfully, we do have the Allies General, which is just going to be chopping up this Tosa Rifleman. He's now up to 150 kills, and he's just routed an entire unit. And we are just going to be getting some fire against this Katana Samurai. Yeah, Katana Samurai. I was just going to take a screenshot, but I decided not to. And to make the situation worse, we do have some Thunderous Cavalry opening the heck up. So yes, this is not a good sight at all. I'm trying to desperately get my troops to get the heck out of there. But he decides to straight outright charge. And it's not looking good for my guys. We are actually able to fire point-blank range, which is great. However, that's not going to save us from the situation of getting charged even more. The Allies General is going to be charging into some Kanakachi, and yeah, my Tosa Riflemen route from the battlefield, and at this point it looks over. And however, this General's bodyguard is just going to be charging into this massive blob, and I was literally saying, okay. I was literally thinking, okay, this battle's over. There's no way we're going to turn this around. The enemy has so many units. But look at this. The enemy general is just, my allies general is going to be charging into this mass swarm of Bo Ashigaru. And he instantly gets over 200. Well, he doesn't. He gets 30 kills from that charge. He's gonna be wavering. And I'm telling him, okay, this dude is like the MVP. Like, this dude is the MVP. And he decides to charge him one more time into this Red Bear infantry. And this guy starts... And this guy's confident again. Like, literally, I was like saying, oh my god, this is so close. And to make the situation even better, my Tosa Riflemen returned from routing. That means that, oh my god, we can just continue to fight. The first thing that we have to deal with is this massive swarm. I'm going to put these guys in loose formation because they have a lot of archers. I'm trying to get these guys to open fire just one volley on this Yori Ashigaru, and that's all we need to essentially take these guys out. Our allies general is going to be charging into this Red Bear infantry again. Oh my god, this guy's literally the MVP. Like, he routes another unit pretty much. I'm pretty sure of that. We pretty much routed this unit, and he's going to be charging into some Yori Ashigaru again. Oh my god. However, this Avatar's general is pretty much going to rout. We're actually going to be opening fire on this massive blob of Bo Ashigaru, and at this point we routed these two units. Now all we have to do is route these units, and his general should be more than enough because these are all like bow units. The only real problem is his Katana Samurai, and I still have that artillery crew in this forest, and I'm sending these guys to act like a distraction. And I'm trying to get my guys to get some good level ground so these guys can open fire, but his general routes, and at this point it looks pretty bad. I still have a chance. I believe I still have a chance. These guys are steady. They're active. And I also have the distraction in terms of Imperial artillery battery. And at this point, we are starting to waver and we instantly rout for, yeah. Morale's a little bit problematic, but that was pretty close. Santillion has taken the field. Oops. And at this point, during the battle when I was playing this, I was literally saying to myself, it's not over yet, it's not over, it's not over! And eventually it was over. But we almost had a chance to make it a decisive comeback. Yeah. If I had one more cavalry unit in reserve, that would have been great. So yes, that's all I can say. Or if I kept my general alive, that would still been great. But that's it. I deployed 1,000. I got 1,500. My cavalry did pretty bad. My Yugi did kind of well. Yariki got pretty bad kills across the board. Saber Cavalry got pretty bad kills. Eagers, Tosa Rifleman, 323 kills, no surprise. Fury's General, 245 kills. Oh my god, this guy. So technically what I'm saying is that every man at least got 5 kills. Well, actually no, yeah, at least got 5 kills. Nodashi Samurai coming up poor, but yeah. Palamor's, our ally, did pretty well, especially with his number of kills. And Okita did pretty well. And our main adversary Terry did very well. His Thunderous Cavalry, oh my god, getting 517 kills. But yes, that's it for this battle. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, before you leave, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. I will be honored if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, more videos are coming out, so it is a good idea to click on that notification button. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.